Hey, how are you doing today? And welcome to another piano theory lesson. Today we're going to be talking about transposition. Now I'm going to be honest with you, transposition is probably the most difficult concept for a beginner's piano theory course. And I don't want you to freak out because I really think I can explain it in a way that you'll get it. But if you can understand this, the rest of it will be a breeze for you. All right, so basically what transposition is taking a song and moving it to a different key. And here's what I mean. So let's take the song Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? It sounds like this. So that's Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? But what about this? Oop. That's Mary Had a Little Lamb too, right? What about... So which one's the right Mary Had a Little Lamb? Well, the answer is they're all correct. They're all Mary Had a Little Lamb. They're just played in different keys. So here's what I mean by that. Let's try not thinking of the notes by their letter names, but thinking about them by scale degree. So let's say we're in the key of C, right? So here in scale degree 1, 2, 3. So instead of thinking of Mary Had a Little Lamb as E, B, C, E, 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 let's think of it as 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. So it starts on 3, it goes to 1, and then back to 3. So now let's say we're playing in the key of G. So in the key of G, this is scale degree 1, 2, and 3. So now let's play in the key of G, Mary Had a Little Lamb. 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3. And that's correct too. Now we can move to E flat. E flat, scale degree 1, 2, 3. Mary had a little lamb. It's always gonna sound the same. And it's the same thing with chord progressions. So if we take in the key of C, a 1 chord, 6, 4, 5, sounds like this. 1, 6, 4, 5. If we want an exact same sounding chord progression in a different key, we could go to B flat, do a 1 chord, do a 6 chord, do a 4 chord, and do a 5 chord, and it's going to sound like this. Which is the exact same sound as this. So that's the basic concept of transposition. I hope that makes sense to you guys, and I think it will. And start really listening for this, and you know, mess around with it and try playing Mary Had a Little Lamb in a bunch of different keys. So why does this even matter? Like, why would we ever transpose a piece? Well, here's one reason. If you're working with a singer, they might not be able to sing in a certain key. Maybe you're playing, you know, Mary Had a Little Lamb and someone's trying to sing along and you're trying to play, but maybe they can't sing a B that's this high. Maybe they can only sing up to an F sharp. So now you're like, okay, instead of playing it in G, I'll play it in D. And if I play it in D, scale degree 1, 2, 3, it's going to be... And now your singer will be able to play in that key, and it'll make it a lot easier. Here's another reason to learn transposing, and this is a little trick that will help you pretty much people will think you're better at piano than you are. And what you can do, and I used to do this all the time, is you can put all your songs in the same key when you learn them. And this is especially helpful when you're playing by ear, and we'll get into more of that in the play by ear module. But for now, just know, if you play in the same key every time, you'll get really used to that key. So here's an example. Let's say I always play in the key of C, right? Let's say, you know, Mary Had a Little Lambs up here. I just move that to C. And I play it in C. So now my chords are always going to be either a C chord, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, or A minor. Those are the chords in C major. Now, what do you notice about all those chords is they're all white note chords. So here is the little trick. Now, when we start getting into left-hand patterns, there's cool left-hand patterns you can do, like you might do, and that's kind of an advanced left-hand pattern. But what I realize is all you have to do is learn that one pattern. So it's a total of 8 notes. And if you're playing in C major, let's say I move to a D minor chord. It's that same pattern of notes, and it's the exact same muscle memory because all I'm doing is shifting it from here to here. And I could do F major, G major. And no matter what chord I play, it's really easy to play. So it's a cool little trick. You can transpose everything to a certain key. And especially if you're learning real complex stuff. Like one of my left-hand patterns I do a lot sounds like this. And that's like a complex left-hand pattern. It took me, a week or two to learn. But now if I play it in C, I can just transpose that, or I can put that to the next chord, and it's just as easy as playing it in C, so I can just do this. Whereas if I was trying to play that same pattern E flat, now there's all these black notes and I have to play. And it's just a lot less convenient on your fingers. So that's a cool little trick I learned. So now I'm going to show you how to transpose the cheating way, and I'm going to show you this, and I think it's good to know to test yourself. So don't just always cheat and use this method, but I'm going to show you it anyway, just so you know how to do it. So now we're going to go on to a couple different websites to help us with that. All right, so here we are at my computer, and I'm going to show you guys a cool little website to quickly find the chords of the song and then transpose them to a key you want. And remember, this is the cheater's method, but I will show you how you can use it to help your progress. So basically, if you type in almost any pop song with the words guitar chords in front of it, so guitar chords, all of me, it almost will always pop up the site ultimateguitar.com. It's by far my favorite site to use for learning the chords of a song. So if you click on it, I already have it opened up in a new window. It'll come to this site, ultimateguitar.com, and basically it's a site where anybody can submit the chords of the song. So you got to be kind of careful because you don't know, are these actually the right chords, or is it some dude that's just like, yeah man, these are the chords, but he actually has them all wrong. But the nice part is you can see the reviews. So this one got 5 stars, and there's over 3,000 ratings. So you can be like pretty much 99% sure that these are the correct chords of the song. And if they're not, like let's say this was like 2 stars, right? You can simply click here. This is one of the versions, and here's other versions people have made. So version 8 you can see is only 2 stars. That's probably completely wrong. Version 9 is 4 chords, or 4 stars. Maybe this one isn't correct, but it sounds cool because it's 4 stars. It might be something like that. But typically I just stick to one of the versions that has 5 stars. All right, so here's what you want to do. Now, this is the cheater's method, so you want to first, before you cheat, try to figure out what key this song is in. So you can see all the chords down here, and what I want you to do is ignore anything that says, major 7th like this. There's another one, E minor add 9. Just ignore that, A minor / C. Just go by the first chord. So this would just think of it as an A minor chord. This is E minor add 9. Just think of it as an E minor chord. So you want to look at all the chords and try to figure out what key it's in. So I do have a PDF printout that has all the keys and the chords within the keys. So you might want to print them out. I'll have it down below the video somewhere. So for this example, maybe I see, oh, this is E minor, C major, G. Oh, maybe it's in the key of C because C contains those 3 chords. But then I see this, here's a D. And by the way, if it doesn't have anything after it, that means it's major. And C doesn't contain a D major chord, it contains a D minor chord. So I'm like, okay, this isn't in C. And then I keep going through different keys and trying to figure out what it is. And if you look at the sheet, you'll notice that the key of G contains all these chords. The 5 chord is the D, the 6 chord is the E minor, and the 4 chord is the C major. And there's A minor in here too, and A minor is the 2 chord of G. So you can see that in the key of G, it contains all these chords, so therefore, this is in the key of G. So that's a quick way to kind of test yourself and really get used to it. And after you do this, 10 times, you'll get the feel of it, and you'll just see these chords, and you'll instantly recognize, oh yeah, these are all just chords in the key of G. And some will be harder and some will be easier. But now I want to show you how to transpose this quickly. So if you're like, okay, I'm in the key of G, I want to play this song in the key of C. Now first, what I want you to do to learn this skill is write out these chords. So E minor chord, C major, G, and D. And I want you to think, okay, an E minor chord in the key of G, what chord is that? And then you count up from G and realize E minor is the 6th chord. So then what is the 6th chord in C major? Now the 6th chord in C major is A minor. So whenever you see an E minor here, instead of E minor, it's simply an A minor. And same thing with here, C major. So a C major chord in the key of G is the 4 chord. So you need a 4 chord in the key of C if you want to play it in C. So that would be an F major chord. So whenever you see the C major, it's actually an F major if you're playing in the key of C. And do that for all 4 chords, and then you can test yourself. And here's how you test yourself. There's a little transpose button right here. And if you press the up arrow, it'll transpose it up a half step. So it'll transpose it to G sharp. And now it transposes all the chords. So now this is F minor, C sharp major, G sharp, and D sharp. Now, if you want to find C, remember we said this first chord should be A minor. So all you got to do is keep transposing up until you hit A minor with that chord. G minor, G sharp, and come on, it's loading, there we go, A minor. So now you can see, okay, A minor, F major, C, and G. These are all chords in the key of C. So it's a quick way to do it, and if you can't figure it out originally, what original key it's in, you can also just kind of keep hitting the transpose button until you come up with familiar chords. So you could look at the key of C and look and see, okay, C contains C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, and A minor. And then you can kind of just keep hitting this transpose button until you see all the chords in that key. And it's a quick, easy way of doing it if you don't want to spend a lot of time. But I would definitely suggest go through first and see if you can figure it out, because once you can figure it out, it takes time to learn that process, but then once you've learned that, you can, instantly transpose songs to different keys, and it'll be super fast. You don't even have to think about it. So I really want to kind of drill that into you guys to really learn this and don't just cheat all the time. But I know at the start, it's going to be really hard to learn it, so you might have to cheat and to check your answers and see if you're doing it right. All right, that's all I got for you guys for this video lesson. Thanks a lot for watching. Remember to do the exercises, and peace out.